If it's better for his mental health and everything involved, then kudos to him. At the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and wish someone, suffer and stay online when they're happier doing other things. I wish that for everybody watching online content.
And that's what I was saying too. Like my issues with, the Flagrant crew, stem from, when they started to, I felt like, get political, but also not be accountable for what they did and didn't do, right? Akaash, I think out of everyone was still one of the only people that did try to push a little bit in that aspect. But at the same time, I did lose a certain amount of respect for him as it pertains to this situation. But again, these are people that are online, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going off of my opinion. And that's if I wasn't exposed to their stuff, right? If she wasn't online and him being the online persona and stuff like that, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't have an opinion on it. But since they both decided to do what they do, and that's how she's talking on her podcast and on her social media, and that's how she treats him, then you've invited me into your world, and yeah, that stuff does come off crazy. She comes off crazy. She doesn't come off like she really and truly ride or die loves him like that. If she did, I don't think she would say a lot of the things that she said, because as a man and as a husband, if my wife was doing that kind of stuff, some of those things, I would consider it very disrespectful, and I would just be waiting for, how it's gonna come back and blow back on me. But again, like him stepping away means he obviously cares more about, his relationship, his marriage with his wife, and less about what the internet has to say. And I can only imagine, everybody's done videos and stuff like that, but I can only imagine how the internet went in and the DMs and the comments and stuff like that. And I can see it affecting your mental and why you would want to step away. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Trey.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Back at it with another video.
Another one.
First and foremost, thanks to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel, engaging in the comments, liking the video, sharing it with your people. Obviously, I'm a new YouTuber, so it really means a lot. It's helping me to grow, and it's helping the algorithm to push the videos more. But if y'all are new to the channel, go ahead and take some time, hit that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot. Today we're going to be changing things up a little bit. For those of y'all that aren't aware, I do mostly political commentary on the channel, but sometimes I need a break. So I have certain things that I enjoy, certain other podcasts and things of that nature that I like to just take part in, just to kind of unwind a little bit. And sometimes that leads into me being messy as hell and ingesting a whole bunch of celebrity beef and interactions and stuff like that, influencer beef or what have you. Now, to preface this one, I used to be a fan of the Flagrant, I believe it's Flagrant 2 or Flagrant. I used to be a fan of the Flagrant podcast. I've been watching Akaash and Andrew Schulz for a long time. When they were just getting started and doing the comedy, crowd work and stuff like that. So I'm a fan of comedy. So that's what led me to engaging in the podcast. And Brilliant Idiots was a thing at the time. And I was following Charlemagne, all that. I started to, shy away from their content once they started getting political. I think it was around there about the time that they interviewed Trump. And I think that was very disingenuous for them to have Trump on and not to push back at all. I'm not saying that they had to be like hard-hitting journalists or anything like that, but I think it would have been fair to engage with him about a lot of things that had happened up to that point, previous things that had happened, to try and call him out on the shit. But it just became like one of these like little bro hangout sessions where they were laughing up with him, blah, blah, blah. I think they might have pushed back on one or two issues, but I think that's disingenuous. And I think me as one of your fans, you know what I'm saying, I expect you to at least ask him about some of the more controversial things that happened in that first term, right? But, you know, they don't have to do that, right? They don't owe me that. But as a fan, it was off-putting. So I, you know, stopped in, you know, partaking in the content. And all that to say, Akaash was actually one of my more favorite people on the pod. I think he's hilarious. I've watched his specials. I've watched his crowd work. I think Andrew tries to be funny, and sometimes it comes off real corny in nature and hacky. But I've really appreciated Akaash and his comedy. And I think he's still funny, right? But those of y'all that don't know, he has been getting the business. His wife started her pod and said a whole bunch of crazy things. So it kind of a whole bunch of blowback on him. And it's come out lately that he decided to leave the podcast. So we're going to react to Abba and Preach finding out about the news and giving their take on it. So without further ado, because I know I went on a rant there, apologize. Let's get into the video.
I've been saying it for, I told Preach on the pod a couple times.
100%.
I'm like, he's done. He quit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flagrant. Schulz here, Alex Media, Marky Gagnon. Miles is back there. And we're on the West Coast. Thank you, Alex Media, for hosting us in WTF Media Los Angeles studios. Beautiful, lovely.
Nice.
That is a nice set.
It's a wonderful set.
It's a wonder. You know what? Alex Media does crazy sets, really good, and he does them across the coast. So y'all can say whatever you want about them folks, but that work is immaculate.
100%.
But come check out the podcast here if you guys are in town. Now, we got to address the elephant in the room, no pun intended, okay? As I'm sure you guys are aware, our boy Akaash, he really went through it earlier this year, showed amazing resilience and, you know, selling out Radio City recently, setting records in Toronto, just crushing stand-up around the globe, and literally just like living the dreams that he would tell me about at 2 a.m. when we're eating fucking egg sandwiches at Veselka. So it's been amazing to see, but the experience has put things in perspective for him. And he's made the decision to focus all of his energy on stand-up. He is going to be stepping away from the pod. It is bittersweet. You know, we wish that he did not want to do that. But at the same time, you know, it's very hard not to root for your friend, you know, literally living his dreams. And if he feels he's got to give everything to that, then that's exactly what he's got to do. And we're going to rock with him. We hope you guys continue to rock with him. Go check out the show. We saw the show Radio City. It's phenomenal. You guys should absolutely go check it out. AkaashSingh.com.
One thing I will say, I don't think he might talk in depth about it more in the future. And if he doesn't have to. And I think his wife is going to continue doing whatever it is she's doing online and stuff like that. But I think with the amount of money I imagine that he was making, you know, I don't know. I'm not trying to pocket watch too much, but with the amount that he was making, the notoriety he had with his podcast, and the fact that I don't know how long she's been doing her pod, but I don't think it's as long as he's been doing his. And for her stuff to have such a negative effect on him, his mental, his career, you say what you want. Like, yeah, he might enjoy doing comedy more, but it's got to have an effect on their relationship, right? And maybe this is a way for them to focus on them and no, it's not, because she's still online and he's still going to be doing shows. All I'm trying to say is I would be pissed if my wife started doing the podcast and was saying some of the shit that she was saying. And I do believe off top, I do believe that a lot of the stuff that she was saying was out of pocket and she shouldn't be saying about him. And it really makes her come off as if she don't really care about him like that. But that's just me. They've got their own relationship. Whatever they love, I like it.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me, though.
But I just feel like if your business was having so much an effect on my business and I'm the breadwinner, then we should retweak how you're doing your business. But that's just me.
For tickets. So we just wanted to, you know, clear the air. Akaash hasn't been on the pod for a while. And we thought it was time that we, you know, talk to you guys about it. Thoughts, boys?
it's bittersweet because this is my brother. I love him. I was here day one of this podcast, and it's like, we were started together and together. Bad boys for life.
Yeah.
Some gay shit,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, man, I'm proud of him. I'm just so fucking proud, like, being at Radio City and just seeing,
Crazy.
like, just everybody was animated, like, they loved it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just proud of him. And I think back to when we surprised him when I came home from Sweden.
Oh yeah, his reaction was incredible.
His reaction, like he didn't even care. The cameras are there, jumped up, gave me the biggest fucking bear hug. I didn't know he was that strong.
Yeah, man, just a lot of fucking memories. Yeah. But listen, go out and support Akaash, man. Go send him some messages, show him some love, dude.
Yep.
He's the man. He's getting after it, and he's going to continue to crush it. Yep.
Go get a ticket to the show if there's tickets left.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it right there. There, you guys heard the announcement. For those of you who are like, oh, what happened? I'm not going to do a full recap. His wife basically pulling a Yoko Ono on his career. I have my thoughts. Yoko Ono is a legend. Some of you are too young to know what that is. I'm telling y'all think Just Lean crazy? Yoko Ono, the way Yoko Ono torpedoed John Lennon is crazy.
No, bro.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. So I was popping my and
All right, so first and foremost, I get it. Like, a lot of people have their opinion on this situation and how it went down, but I'm sorry. This is not cool from her side, because he doesn't talk about her like the way she talks about him. And like, he's talked about her being a virgin and all these different things. And, you know, it just made him look bad. It made him look really, really bad, her doing everything that she did.
living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
I'm actively trying to have an orgy because, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches. Okay, I have two butt stories. So one time I met
She has two butthole stories.
this guy on Tinder and I made the dump. I like woke.
No, what? She got two whole stories.
Before we even get into our takes, all right, I have my opinion, Preach has his. I'm going to give the audience, you guys who are watching at home, a chance. What do you guys think our take is? What do you think actually happened? Go ahead, leave that in the chat so we can take a look at it. What you think?
From what I've seen from him, there was a lot of things that he said about the situation. Like, first off, he played it like, I don't care. And from what I've seen and from what I've gathered, like even the first few sets that I've seen after his 9/11 happened, which that's what I'm gonna call it. When his 9/11 happened,
Was that when Jocelyn flew her mouth onto those two white frat boys' houses' dick?
So,
college. So I was popping my and living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
yeah,
Okay.
it did affect him more than you was.
So I don't want to be disingenuous. She said that what she meant by popping that thing at the frat houses was just, dating and dancing and stuff. That's all. She was a virgin when they got married.
Saying that it was affecting him, understandably so. Everybody, including us, was talking. I have questions. When you do some things like that, and I want to leave a group that I was part of, let's say I leave this. If I'm in good term in ABBA, I'm going to do a video myself addressing y'all because it's also my audience. That's what I believe. I could be dead wrong. It's weird that the message doesn't come from him, to me. They're all there. The three of them are there, and they're, I remember this, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that. It's all good. If it's all good, maybe he got kicked out.
So when Preach started talking about this, I hadn't picked up on that. The fact that he wasn't there. Yeah, I mean, there is there is validity in what Preach is saying. Like, yeah, he's been there. I don't know how many years, but it's years. They have grown that fan base from nothing into whatever it is now. And they're making good money. Well, we're making good money, I imagine. So for him to leave, yeah, and not do a video, not show up, they get after a couple other things that might have to do with it, but I still think for the people, not the fans, right? For the people that he's been working with and Ride or Die, like they are all friends. They go on the road, they all this different stuff. That creates a bond, I'd imagine. So I would assume like he would go for a goodbye just to hang out with the fellas and do his last show. So the fact that he didn't do that, I think is pretty suspicious. But they get into why, he might not have a whole bunch of love lost with the fans,
Maybe for the same reason of him not being there and addressing, hey, yo, you know what, fam? You're affecting the pod right now. You being on the pod for the benefit of all this, you got to part ways. So I'm between those two things.
Oh, no. I don't know about that last one. I disagree pretty hard on that one. I don't think they would do that to him. They started together. And the way he was talking on other interviews, that's not the feeling I got whatsoever.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And listen, I might not be the biggest Schulz fan, but in my experience of just observing him and even being around him, he is pretty loyal to his people, and they've been day one since the beginning. They still support him with all his live shows. They were there at Radio
100%.
City, and he brought him backstage. That doesn't scream to me, we kicking you off the pod.
It can be mutual. It can be an understanding. On this take, I'm about 10%. I'm not solo.
Listen, I have no reason to, defend it. Genuinely, this is not something I could ever see these kinds of people abandoning.
I agree. I'd agree.
I think it's just really what Akaash himself said. I think a lot of people think I was going to spend this whole time dunking on him, but him wanting to walk away from the pod and doing online content to focus more on just doing stand-up makes perfect sense to me. Mm-hmm. If you guys told me I could do this job, make the same amount of money, tour around, most people are going to pick stand-up over doing online content. Right? And even if it's for half the amount or 1/4 the amount, most people are still going to pick stand-up. And the reason is simple. When you get away from, when you put out a video, this is for me. I don't know how it is for other people. I think most content creators who have longevity are probably similar to me in this regard. When you put up a video and it gets 1 million views and people are going crazy, you feel nothing. And I say that because the only way you can have longevity online is to feel nothing about making content. Because the moment you get wrapped up in everyone's opinions and all the negative stuff, and it really fucks with your brain, okay? When you do stand-up or when you're doing live interactions, you're actually having human experiences with people. You're having spontaneity, there's laughter, there's feedback, it's all this shit. It's a very energizing experience. You feel alive when you're on that stage and you have that attention. It's with a real audience. It might be 100 people, it might be 10 people at an open mic, but those things really stick with you and they feel more grounding, they feel more tangible. I could definitely see somebody walking away from the internet and saying I don't want to deal with this shit and I'd rather just go ahead and do stand-up. I can tour, I got enough fame and shit to run clips. And so I believe him when he says he'd rather do that, considering now how everything is fucking blown up in his face. And if it's better for his mental health and everything involved, then kudos to him. At the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and wish someone, suffer and stay online when they're happier doing other things. I wish that for everybody watching. Online content.
And that's what I was saying too. My issues with, the Flagrant crew, stem from, when they started to, I felt get political, but also not be accountable for what they did and didn't do, right? Akaash, I think out of everyone was still one of the only people that did try to push a little bit in that aspect. But at the same time, I did lose a certain amount of respect for him as it pertains to this situation. But again, these are people that are online, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going off of my opinion. And that's if I wasn't exposed to their stuff, right? If she wasn't online and him being an online persona and stuff like that, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't have an opinion on it. But since they both decided to do what they do, and that's how she's talking on her podcast and on her social media, and that's how she treats him, then you've invited me into your world. And yeah, that stuff does come off crazy. She comes off crazy. She doesn't come off like she really and truly ride or die love him like that. If she did, I don't think she would say a lot of the things that she said, because as a man and as a husband, if my wife was doing that kind of stuff, some of those things, I would consider it very disrespectful, and I would just be waiting for, how it's gonna come back and blow back on me. But again, like him stepping away means he obviously cares more about, his relationship, his marriage with his wife, and less about what the internet has to say. And I can only imagine, everybody's done videos and stuff like that, but I can only imagine how the internet went in and the DMs and the comments and stuff like that. And I can see it affecting your mental and why you would want to step away.
Creation is a thing. There's benefits. He made his career off of it for sure. But now he's built a platform where he can go off and not do stand-up. People say, oh, end of his career. It's not the end of his career, You guys kind of have to get away from this whole idea that just because you...
Then last thing, he did do that to other people too. Like they analyzed other people's relationships and whatever the case may be. They talk about it on the pod. He gives his take. He talks his shit, like all that stuff. So dish it and not take it as a comedian is pretty wild.
Dislike somebody, you have to make up a reality that's not there. He's successful. He can sell out a theater. He can sell out comedy clubs. That's a six-figure salary, mid-six-figure salary. If you're really full-time touring, like, he can take care of himself. If someone can do that and be happier doing that than doing online content, then you wish that for them. And I'll always believe that for anyone, whether I like you or not. I agree with you. I think it is very telling that he's not there on the final episode. If you and I did a project for 10 years and you want to move on to something else and I'm doing a eulogy while you're not there, that's fucking weird. That is always bad. Every time. Something's off. There's no reason for you to build your fan base off of some platform and then not show up for your final day to say something to that audience. There's no reason. Whether you send in a video, whether you show up for the pod, these people are rich enough to fly each other on a private jet to go do shows. There's no reason. None. So that to me says that they either have an issue with the partner, they have an issue with somebody on the staff, or they have an issue with the audience. Because she made comments about the audience. Remember when she made comments?
We're saying like, oh, it's because of his fans. It's because of his fans. Like his comedy fans are not like that. It's more the podcast fan base that I don't think really resonate with him, because a lot of them are like really racist and right wing. I think like those.
So she's talking about the Flagrant podcast in the audience. Now think about this comment in the context of him quitting. My co-host's wife? That is crazy, because that means they've been pillow talking.
A lot of them are like really racist and right wing. I think like those.
Keep your wife off the motherfucking internet. Your wife have a microphone in her face.
So Charlamagne and Andrew were talking about how she needs to get off of doing podcasts in the internet. And I want you to also keep in mind that she never stopped making.
I think that's fair. I think as the breadwinner and how it was affecting him and his potential to continue to make money, and now he has no choice but to address it and all this stuff. Like it completely created a multiverse. You know what I'm saying? What is the thing with Loki? Whatever. It created a variant. You know what I'm saying? It created a multiverse that didn't have to exist. Now it exists, and now I have to address all this stuff. And now to have it end up resulting in him stepping away and her continuing the pod. I hope she's getting good money. I hope she's sharing too. Like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I hope it's comparable to the Flagrant check is what I'm getting at.
In podcast appearances, and she never stopped making her TikToks yapping about everything. I think it's too telling that you're not there. Like, it's clear there's something off. But I do think that the Flagrant crew, the guys who were there, were very honest in regards to how they felt about him. I can tell that they really genuinely do feel for him and love him. They probably still have a great relationship with him. But there's some weirdness there. And there's no way you can get around that. You can't just disappear for 4 months and then not show up to say I'm out of this show. That's too weird. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
We're gonna stop this one there. If y'all want to see the whole video, make sure y'all go over to Advent Preach's channel. But yeah, like, you know, like I said, I started off early on watching that show, and I liked it. I liked it for what it was worth before they got political. And I like Akaash. I think he's hilarious. I like his stand up. And yeah, I hate to see him go out like this, but I mean, what can you do? I also agree. Like, once this thing made a turn, like, she should have taken it upon herself to either change up the tone a little bit, or to, hey, this is having a negative effect on your business, and we live off of your business. Then I'll take a step back. So the fact that didn't happen is also telling, right? But y'all let me know in the comments itself. Y'all, tell me if I'm being, I don't know, ridiculous, if I'm being sexist, trying to get her to stop her source of income or whatever she's doing to make money for his sake. But yeah, if y'all learned something from the video, make sure y'all share the video with your people. Keep the information flowing, keep the conversation going. And until next time, I'll holla at you.
You wanna be my enemy? I pop out, they go wild, so celebrity. Too busy winning, I forgot that I got